Yes.
And one of the questions the students asked me was, what do you think about changing Taiwan's name from Republic of China to Taiwan? And I basically answered, I don't think changing the name will change recognition for Taiwan. I don't think that's really the point. I think the point really is about increasing Taiwan's international visibility through other options. It's really about war and peace and Taiwan finding its way in this new climate of geopolitics.
So overall, the situation, the way I see it, is that it is, of course, much worse than it has been for a long time, both in terms of international affairs overall, maybe particularly in terms of US-China relations, but also with regard to the threats and the difficulties that Taiwan has been facing. So I think those are intimately connected. I mean, everyone realizes that the main cause for there being so much pressure from the PRC on Taiwan at the moment is not just connected to the relationship between the mainland and Taiwan or the increasingly authoritarian government in charge in Beijing.
And particularly when it comes to this election about the 92 consensus, which is what the Kuomintang promoted, and also with this need for, from the DPP, wanting Taiwan to get more international recognition and perhaps even independence. So two very different ideologies at stake.
Yes.
And for Taiwan People's Party, we're somewhere in the middle. Yes.
No, but I think that's right. I mean, I think that's entirely right. I think so. Some of this is about political system. There is no doubt about that. When I was in Beijing this summer, spoke to a lot of people there, and it is clear that when the aspirations of many people in China, in mainland China, was about a more liberal system of governance. So the turn towards authoritarianism has also obviously poisoned the relationship with Taiwan, because Taiwan's democracy, without any shadow of a doubt, is seen as a challenge to the current political system in China. So the more authoritarian China has become under the CCP, the more of a challenge in ideological terms Taiwan's well-functioning democracy is seen as being. Yes.
And one of the questions the students asked me was, what do you think about changing Taiwan's name from Republic of China to Taiwan? And I basically answered, I don't think changing the name will change recognition for Taiwan. I don't think that's really the point. I think the point really is about increasing Taiwan's international visibility through other options.
I mean, I think given how tense the situation now is, both internationally and cross-straits, trying to make any changes in terms of how the status of Taiwan is seen in Beijing, I mean, in terms of formalities, and as you said, formalities here mean very little. It's the practice that actually matters, right? I mean, Taiwan has its own self-determination in terms of what it does internally. It has shown its ability through the incredible industriousness of people of Taiwan to create an incredibly wealthy society compared to any Chinese society in the past, and an incredibly democratic society compared to any Chinese society of the past. And that's an incredible achievement. The status quo with regard to Taiwan is in any way in the interest of the Taiwanese people. But that's not the same thing as saying that there aren't things that can be done, just along the lines of what you just said. So Taiwan should become much more visible. It should be bragging a lot more about the successes that it's had internationally.